Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In the Round with Andrew Taylor and Lee. We hope everybody's doing well out there, and we'd like to welcome you back. It's been about a week or two since we've been on the air. I guess you would call it on the air, but let me introduce my co-host here, the former manager of a Kenny Rogers Roasters chicken restaurant. Lee, how you doing today?
In Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah,
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself today?
Doing well.
You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
The gambler himself. All right. We also have another very special guest with us. Our good friend Josh is with us here today.
Yay.
Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, not too bad, man. I'm just glad the short bus got here on the way. We didn't get any traffic, so I was able to make it in time today.
Awesome. Great. Good to hear.
The short bus?
Yeah. Last time Josh was on, we did a coverage of Veronica, the Glenn Danzig movie, so it was a pretty good episode.
We bring Josh on when we're looking for some expertise in the cinema series there.
Absolutely. He's a wealth of knowledge. So let's get right into it, man. We have a funny and odd news segment here. The first story, I pulled this one just for you, Josh, because you showed me this the other day, and I had to get some more info on it. The headline reads, Superman's 1938 first appearance comic book sells for a record $3.25 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, man. April 7th, a 1938 comic book featuring the first appearance of Superman sold for a record-breaking $3.25 million in an auction. Online auction ComicConnect.com said Action Comics #1, which bore a price of only 10 cents when it was released in 1938, fetched a high bid of $3.25 million, setting a new record for the highest price paid for a comic book.
Jesus.
That's pretty crazy, man.
And that was one of the last remaining what they consider pristine condition.
Yeah.
It's one of only a few.
That's what you were saying the other day.
So, do they know where all of them are? I mean, I'm assuming
I would imagine
basically,
the
right?
nice
the ones that are
ones,
still
right?
that
around,
are
right?
known of. Like, there's always a possibility that somebody might go into their grandpa's attic and find a box like one that's just in immaculate condition.
Yeah,
and just,
but the ones that are pristine, they pretty much know where they are.
Known of,
I would imagine one that, say, if this is a 9.9 in condition, I would imagine what would like a 5.5 be worth? Probably $1 million, right?
Yeah, still quite a bit.
Yeah, you know,
it gets all very in condition and everything. It's wild, but the ones that are graded and are worth money are all basically they're known of whose hands they're in and things like that.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. They probably know where they are. Yeah.
So they say that this one is in near pristine condition, and the auction house said the seller had purchased the comic 3 years ago for a sum of $1 million, less than what it sold for at auction.
Oh, he paid $1 million more.
Less.
So
than what it sold for at auction.
He paid $2.2 million for it. So he made $1 million on the
Hey, man, $1 million bucks is $1 million bucks.
Is $1 million bucks.
Yeah.
The thing is, with auctions like that I always get a kick out of, is if it sold for $3.25 million, you know there was a guy bidding 3.2.
Oh, going for it. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe next time around, unless there's a bunch that
when
show
those
up.
go up for auction like that, it's usually a bidding war. That's why they go for $3 million.
You wonder who's bidding for them, you know?
Tech guys.
That's what I mean, you know.
People have way more money than sense, man.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
You'd like to see where they go, honestly. Some private collection.
I always hope as somebody that's a Superman fan, because I've read up until last year every issue of Superman comics that have been published from Action Comics to the actual Superman title, Man of Steel. A big Superman fan, so I always hope that whoever's getting them is actually a fan, and it's
exactly.
They're not just putting on the wall to be like, "Oh, I own Action Comics." Well, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully, it's one of those, like, "Hey, man, you got to look. This is the prize of my collection.
Well,
like, I own
the holy grail."
The thing is, Josh, is it would be hard for somebody to not be both. You know what I mean? You would be a big collector because you got to think if he spent $3 million on this. You wonder, it's probably not his only one.
Yeah.
So you got to figure whoever's collection is what he may have a $20 million collection, and to do something like that, to have the passion with that kind of treasure towards that, you've got to have some passion for the thing you're buying. You know?
You would hope so. There's also those people that buy, like, oh, there's a Van Gogh on auction. I'm going to own it just so I can own a Van Gogh. Yeah. Not because I like the painting disorder, but just because I have this, I own a Van Gogh.
I see what you're saying. People there are art investors that invest only in monetary. Like, if I buy this thing, is it going to be...
And with these things, they always going up in value. Like, it's not going to go... The demand for that comic is not going to go away.
You hope it will. Yeah. Those things have hills and valleys. You know, they
like
may
anything else. Yeah.
Well, like we're watching.
It's an investment.
Like we're watching Meekum right now. You can see what the cars are bringing now.
Yeah.
A year ago, the cars weren't bringing that much money, because it runs in cycles.
The argument I can make against the Action Comics one, though, is that is actually a piece of American history and pop culture history. Whereas you can see any other comic book, you can be like, okay, it's just a comic book. But specifically, the Action Comics with the premiere of Superman, like that is the birthplace of so much of our pop culture and just American culture that it's kind of one of those things people would. And just from being a fan of it and seeing other people that have bought issues in the past, some people really just
Can you read the issue online or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. You can find all kinds of archives. Right? And they've done reprints and reprints of it and stuff, so you can find... now, unfortunately, most of the, Golden Age stuff you can't find except for on what would be technically illegal comic book resource websites.
Gotcha.
Like archives and stuff, because they haven't reprinted everything, and a lot of stuff that has been reprinted, good luck finding it.
Even the reprints can be worth some money, huh? Just like
not really.
No,
the comics that are worth money are
the original,
few and far between. It's really, I mean, it's all about the artist and the issue, and and they go up and down in value so much. It's whatever's hot right at the moment can determine what's going to be with value.
Well, I guarantee this thing was. I guarantee this comic was hugely anticipated at this auction.
Yeah. Certain things, like you get a Jack Kirby comic book, it's probably going to be worth something no matter what it is. Yeah. There's some of the his original stuff, not so much. But
does any of the Veronica, the Danzig stuff, does it hold any kind of value to it?
No, not really.
Okay, I was just wondering.
To be honest, it's such a niche market.
Well, I didn't know if maybe they had a couple issues that they said, look, we're only making a few hundred of these.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but nothing of that kind of value. Gotcha. Yeah. But next headline we have here, this is something out of Jumanji, man. That's why I grabbed this. The headline reads, 20 to 25 monkeys escape during a construction project at a German zoo. I'm stumbling all over the place today. April 8th, police in Germany are asking the public to keep watch for 20 to 25 monkeys that escaped from their zoo enclosures. Freiburg police said 20 to 25 macaw monkeys escaped Thursday from a zoo, and zookeepers are unsuccessful in their initial attempts to recapture their primates. Police said construction work in progress at the zoo may have allowed the animals to escape, but the investigation is ongoing. I just want to see what the cities look like, man. That's a lot of them.
I want to see. Right? I want to be in the job site trailer with the guy that's however this guy screwed up, and he's got to come in and tell the foreman. So, especially in his he's not going to believe. Schnell.
we left this crane just slightly too close to the enclosure, and they were able to swing from a tree and grab it, and every single one of them got out.
That. It was probably like we left this man lift up by the wall. They climbed the man lift, it split. And these guys are, those Germans are drunk all the time. So. They're probably drinking beer at lunch, and they come back, and there's an empty habitat, for these monkeys. They're like, hey, where are all the monkeys hiding at? And they're like, oh, shit.
Why is nothing fleeing poo at us? What's going on here?
Exactly. It just reminds me of the scene of when in Jumanji, the original one with Robin Williams, where they show the monkeys driving the cop car. They just come blazing by.
Yeah, they take over the city.
They hung out in a pack of 20 to 25. They didn't split up.
Oh, they probably kind of went their own ways, man.
That's pretty crazy stuff. It'd just be weird.
That's a lot of monkeys, man. That's 25 monkeys.
Some little German grandma sitting there. She opens her back door, and all of a sudden she looks at, instead of raccoons or something like that, there's just 25 monkeys sitting there looking at her, waiting to see what she's going to drop out of that trash.
Oh, man. All right.
Would you turn the monkey back in if you found one?
I don't know. It depends on how many of them showed up. If it was just one, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard too many horror stories about monkeys.
That's the thing.
I'm good.
Remember a while back in Las Vegas, probably 8 or 9 years ago, a lady that owned 2 chimpanzees had gotten out.
Yeah, I think they shot one of them.
They had to. It was jumping on top of a cop car and stuff, freaking out. Yeah, man, they're strong, dude. Yeah.
That's what people don't realize is how monkeys are powerful, man. I mean,
And then another lady got her face ripped off or whatever. I can't remember.
That
what
was
it was.
by a neighbor's that had a pet monkey.
Yeah, you can't.
Because you know what's the one that we used to see at the swap meet, the little capuchin monkey?
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't.
He'd take a quarter from you and tip his hat.
Yeah,
and all that.
I don't know what a macaw monkey is, so maybe it's a bigger version of that, or I don't know.
they're I don't know, 4 feet tall, 3 feet
It's
tall.
an orangutan. It's not a chimpanzee.
Next headline, moving on. Texas man runs from Disneyland to Disney World. On April 7th, a Texas man has become the first person to run from Disneyland, California, to Walt Disney World in Florida, a journey of about 2,700 miles. Don Muchow, 59 of Plano, said he began his run on February 1st, 2020, and had planned to complete the run in about 90 days. This is what I hope they explain this further in the story, but did he run for 90 days straight? How do you do that? You have to sleep, dude.
You have to sleep. Yeah.
How do you judge this?
The human body
how do you judge this, though? And then how do you actually count this? Because did he actually get in a car and go to the hotel, or did he run to the hotel? Or?
Sounds like he probably ran to the hotel. Regardless of the fact, running from California to Florida is a feat on its own. Yeah.
Didn't one of your cousins ride a bike?
My cousin rode a bike to the World Trade Center from California to New York City.
That's pretty crazy, man. Yeah.
A bicycle, him and a friend.
Yeah. Did he get any flat tires or anything?
He had like 25 or 30 of them, and his buddy got none.
Wow. That's crazy.
But I mean, they don't go straight. I mean, we used to get the people years ago when I first moved to Nevada. We get the people that would walk from California to Mercury, Nevada, out by the test site. Because when I first moved to Las Vegas, they were still testing weapons out at Nevada test site. So.
Weapons.
Well, with all these hippie, crazy people with flags and all that stuff, it was nuts.
Yeah.
They would block the freeways and stuff like that. And
so he was doing this to raise awareness of type 1 diabetes. So he did it for a good cause and all that. It did take about 90 days for him to do it.
So he probably ran 8 hours a day, man, or something.
So that's pretty awson. What a
now
cool
the question
thing.
is, now that he's gotten to Florida from California, is he going to go back?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Do you just go like, I'm in sanctuary.
On an airplane. I'm going to get on a plane.
Get there and yell, freedom!
Yeah, right? Yep.
I'm pretty tired.
Especially
think I'll go home now.
We have one more news story before we head off to our break. And this one, we got another one here. And Josh, you're a big video game guy and all that.
Yeah.
Big Nintendo guy, right?
A bit of one. I'm a bit of a... I don't know what I would say full-on gamer, but I enjoy them.
You're a big classic video game guy, too, like Nintendo and all that Super Nintendo. So
it's the only ones I can play.
Here's the headline for this one. It says, sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. Sells for a record price of $660,000.
Jesus, man, what happened to all our shit
this
here,
is great, right? Doesn't it make you wish you held on to some of this stuff? On April 5th, a Texas-based auction house announced a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. From Nintendo Entertainment System sold for $660,000, the highest price ever fetched for a video game. What's that?
Just a quick question. Was it just the single Mario, or is it Mario Duck Hunt?
It looks like it's just a single Mario from the picture that we have.
Then,
and it was graded an A+ at 9.6.
Yeah, that makes more sense then. Because the Mario by itself is way more rare than Mario.
Because I had the Mario Duck Hunt one.
Yeah, because it came packaged with the system forever.
Exactly. With the game.
And then that one was sold by itself that way.
It just
so that's
seems weird
super rare.
that it would bring that kind of money.
So they said the copy of Super Mario Brothers that was sold was part of a comics and comic art auction during the weekend that was part of a short run produced in 1986 that you were just explaining.
Yeah.
So Nintendo switched from shrink wrap packaging to a sticker seal at that point. So that's kind of interesting, man. I mean, I
didn't know video games had that kind of value.
Well, it's interesting that people remember that stuff too. Like, hey, we only did this amount of this one in production, so that makes it even worth that much more.
Yeah, and then here I am the other day. I bought a unsealed, unopened copy of a NES game and sit there and opened it just for the sheer satisfaction of it.
Hey, man, a little time travel.
Yeah. Game that nobody else would ever remember except for me, Kabuki Quantum Fighter. Nobody else cares about it.
You know what my first video game system was?
That's why I was able to find an unopened copy.
Yeah. Was the my sister had the Atari. It was a 2600, the one with the joystick and the red button.
Yeah.
And we had, our first one was the Mattel and Television.
Okay, yeah.
And we had the game Pitfall on it. It was like the greatest game ever, man.
Now, going off to our break here, I have to give a fair warning to the listeners. Coming back, things might get a little loud on the rejoiner. So, heads up. If your speakers are turned up, you might want to turn them down a little bit or louder.
Like they do in the NASCAR race. Yeah. Listen to the engines.
So, whichever you prefer. But we will be right back here in just a few minutes with the topic of the day. Stay tuned, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And I already know you can tell with that intro what we are discussing today. It is a Godzilla vs. Kong episode, as we all three of us in this very studio went to see this movie the day after it was released, actually, after work.
Yeah, we actually Thursday. We got ourselves out and we went to a theater and
absolutely
sit down and enjoyed some popcorn.
It was a great thing, yeah.
First time in a long time.
Yeah.
You know what? What was the name of that theater? Roadhouse.
Yeah, we got to give a little shout out there. Yeah. It was a local theater here in Scottsdale, Roadhouse Theaters. Or Roadhouse Cinemas, I believe is what it is.
Awesome place.
Yeah, great place. It's
good beer.
Yeah, good. Most of their stuff is local. They have locations here in Arizona and in Colorado, and almost everything they do is locally sourced. Their beer and things like that. Yeah. Local breweries. I know they try to get their meat from local sources.
Yeah, the food was good too.
They try to do as local as possible that they can.
Nice big comfy chairs I can recline and all that.
If you're going to go to a movie theater, that's the way to do it.
The servers were nice and all that stuff.
Yeah, pretzel was delicious.
So.
I had a big old burger and fries. Yeah, it's a great location.
Definitely get over there and check them out if you're in Arizona.
So. And you know what? Not terribly priced.
Not at all.
No. When you think about what you pay for snacks in a movie theater,
that's what I was saying.
They brought you like a burger or something. It was like $12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, their prices and even their ticket prices are slightly less than a normal theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a drastic amount. It's a couple bucks, but when you're going for a date out, a night out, or just even by yourself to the theater, that the service that you're getting and the food you're getting and the price of the ticket being slightly less, it's all better. Like even if you're going to spend more money, it's still feel justified.
Another plus on that method of business they do over there is if you're going to take a date out, a lot of times you take like a dinner and a movie. These two you can combine, so if the date doesn't go well, you get the hell away from the person a lot quicker, and if it goes well, you know what that means.
Yeah. And you can also start out earlier in the lobby too, because they have the lobby where you can sit down, you can order food, you can order drinks, everything like that, and hang out. Yeah.
All I need now is a date.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, we're gonna get right into the Just the Facts segment. We do this every show. Today it is all Godzilla. I would say Godzilla versus Kong theme, but we leaned heavily on Godzilla. This is Godzilla territory over here. So.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the feeling going into the movie to me, especially with the trailer that had come out, and leading up to this, for the weeks leading up, I was just like, man, This is in the name, Godzilla versus Kong,
Yeah, it was interesting. Like every time a new trailer come out, every time I would be like, man, what are they going to do with this one? Yep. I just don't know what's going to go on now.
Yeah,
and it was interesting leading up to it because I had expectations and theories, but I didn't know for sure what was going to happen. No, and that was fun. I was looking for. I had a movie like that for a while.
In all fairness, if you want to split hairs here,
yeah.
I think King Kong got a whole shitload more screen time than Godzilla did.
It was definitely a Kong movie.
I think it should have been King Kong with special guest Godzilla.
Before we get into all that, we'll do Just the Facts, because then we'll dive into the actual movie. And the Just the Facts segment, we spanned a ton of just random facts with Godzilla mainly. So we'll start off right from the beginning. In the original 1954 movie, Godzilla's iconic roar was actually produced by rubbing a pine tar coated leather glove over a double bass string to produce the sound effect of him screaming.
A double bass string?
Wow. Yeah. So that's how they produced that sound effect.
They just hook a microphone up to it and turn it up real loud.
I'm imagining,
probably a contact mic or just a mic down at the base.
1954?
Yep. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, I'm always fascinated by that, to hear, like sound effects.
Oh, I love Foley. It's so much fun.
Exactly.
What a great job to have.
Yeah, it's part of the reason I got into doing audio was because of Foley and stuff like that.
Absolutely. The next fact we have here, Godzilla was originally going to be a giant mutated octopus.
I've heard
that. In the initial inception of it. Tomoyuki Tanaka decided to go with a more dinosaur-like design in the end.
More reptilian type design.
And I never looked at him like a dinosaur. It was more of like a lizard, like a giant.
When I was a little kid, my father and I used to watch the old Godzilla movies together. Mm-hmm. And I always considered him like a lizard.
Yeah, absolutely. Like could walk upright.
Like a big mutated lizard.
And to reference the new movie, we kind of saw that come out. And one of the fight scenes, the lizard side of it, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely saw him when he's down on all fours, not to jump too far ahead, but you got to see a little bit more of the lizard aspect there.
Exactly. Yeah. So Here's another interesting fact here. This one's going back to the 90s, and this is just marketing at its finest. So, in 1992, Godzilla and NBA star Charles Barkley faced off in a Nike ad. And it took 8 days to film the ad, and then the ad was adapted into a complete comic book series. Just talk about taking it, like, hey, man, we're just going for it. And that's just marketing at its finest,
Yeah, take it to where you can.
I always get a kick out of stuff.
I don't remember
like
that. Do you?
You can actually, people re-edited it not too long ago. You can find just little meme versions of it right now with the current Godzilla and Kong playing basketball
hilarious.
together. You can search for it and find little ones online right now. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome. Here's another Godzilla advertising scheme. Godzilla also pitched Dr. Pepper in 1985.
I remember that.
When the soda was also featured in the 1984 film The Return of Godzilla, and again in Godzilla 1985. So Dr. Pepper had some serious skin in the game with this monster.
I remember those ad campaigns, yeah.
So I'm a huge Dr. Pepper drinker. So
you're a huge Godzilla fan. So it works out well for you.
Hey, I wasn't alive at the time, but whatever. That's what YouTube's for, right?
Absolutely.
George Takei got his start dubbing Japanese monster movies, and he is featured in Godzilla Raids Again and the original Rodan movie.
Huh.
So, and I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
He was dubbing it from Japanese to
English, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, kind of crazy, man. And, that's how he got a start in show business.
You got to start somewhere, man.
Hey, that
whatever pays. Then he got hired on to Star Trek and went on down the road.
Yeah, hated William Shatner since the day that happened. We interviewed them on the morning show, and they left messages for each other.
Did they really?
At the time? It was pretty funny. Yeah, we got to play them for each other.
They actually don't like each other?
No, they don't. They don't really like each other.
No.
Yeah, unless they're playing the part, but
unless they've had a 30-year-old long tongue-in-cheek feud, they're the only ones in on the joke.
Exactly, but you've seen the Godzilla Mothra movie, right? The original one from the mid-'60s?
There's the original one was during the Showa period, it was the Mothra versus Godzilla, not Godzilla versus Mothra.
Yes.
They changed it depending on if it was American or like VHS versus, it got all kinds of
So in 1964, during an action sequence during that movie, the Godzilla suit actually caught on fire. Because the props are exploding and shit like that.
Did the guy die?
No, the guy didn't get hurt or anything, but you could probably imagine those suits were probably made of super flammable material and shit like that. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I had heard that every time the guy that was getting in the suit, that during every filming, that he lost like 50 pounds over
just from running around in it and all that.
Just from sweating so much.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how true that is, but just that's one of those internet rumors that you read on there.
Now, speaking of the suits, this is really interesting. Going back to 1992 again, one of the Godzilla suits worth a whopping $40,000 was stolen from a Toho Productions warehouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and only to be found washed up on the shores of Lake Okotama.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, so just outside of Tokyo. So I wonder what the backstory was on that. It's,
some people working for the movie.
Some dock worker or whatever just happened to be like there. Some guy making a delivery from another company or something saw it and was like, I'm going to take that shit.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, you remember in the movie One Crazy Summer, Bobcat
got one of the Stork brothers.
One of the Stork brothers steals the Godzilla suit and crashes the Beckerstadt's party.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
That's a reference people aren't going to get.
No, there's got to be some people out there that know that movie. It's John Cusack.
Yeah, there's probably enough crossover audience.
Yeah.
The Stark brothers.
Moving right along here. We're getting into the final stretch here of Just the Facts. There's a new Batman movie coming out, so I thought this was fitting since there was a new Godzilla movie that just came out. There was an actual Batman versus Godzilla crossover that was discussed between Toho and what is it, DC?
Yeah.
And it never actually came to fruition, but they actually had discussed it. Right? I could only imagine.
Thank God.
I could only imagine, like, would it be animated? Would it be real live action?
Superman Godzilla?
Totally possible.
I can understand that one.
Totally possible.
Batman Godzilla?
Yeah. I don't know how he would beat Godzilla. Because they say the only way to actually beat Godzilla is oxygen, to where he can't breathe.
Yeah, well, because that was from the original movie, the Oxygen Destroyer, and everything. That was kind of a commentary on nuclear weaponry and stuff. So.
Exactly. So it's kind of interesting. Another Easter egg that's in another movie here with dinosaurs in it actually would be the Lost World Jurassic Park. has a Godzilla Easter egg. During the climax, when a T-Rex is destroying the San Diego or whatever it is, some city like that, a few Japanese tourists can be seen running, and one of them shouts in Japanese, "I left Japan to get away from this."
Well, there's a scene it's one of the Austin Powers movies.
Yeah.
Where they go, "Run like it's Godzilla." He goes, "Which it's not Godzilla." Dude, commercial property trademark. He goes, "But you should run like it is Godzilla," which it's not.
That's right. That's like the first one, isn't it?
I don't remember. No, it's the one that has Michael Caine. Like, it's the one that has Michael Caine in it.
Goldmember?
Yeah, I believe it's the Goldmember one.
Yeah.
Because they have the twins in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fook you and fook me.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting a slap down, and I don't care who knows.
Did you guys know that Godzilla also has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually does. It says Godzilla with a little
I bet
film,
King Kong does too.
I would imagine. I would hope so. I would.
Yeah.
Look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, he should have one. But here's the thing: in 2004, Godzilla received one because it was his 50th birthday. So they actually, they actually did the ceremony and all that. So, the person that inducted him too was, who was it off the top of my head here? I can't remember. I'd have to look this up. But it was somebody famous, and I can't remember. I'll come back to that. But in March, we're going to move on to a little bit of King Kong here, because we got to show him a little bit of light, you know. So not much, but a little.
What Kong do?
He's just kind of lame, dude.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Well, compared to a nuclear-powered dinosaur lizard, I mean...
Okay.
When you say it that way.
when you put it that way, geez.
Like King of the Monsters, at the end of the credits, there's a little blurb at the end in the newspaper articles that says, "What is a king to a god?"
Yeah, exactly. So on March 2nd, 1933, dubbed the Eighth Wonder of the World, made his grand debut at Radio City Music Hall and its sister theater across the street. We were talking about King Kong. Tickets to see the movie range from 35 cents to 75 cents, and King Kong went on to gross $90,000 in over 4 days in New York City alone. Back in 1933,
that was the Fay Ray one.
You're talking the absolute, You're talking the absolute Depression era.
Oh yeah,
so that's
King Kong
pretty
was
impressive.
I bet you the King Kong movie franchises have made way more than the Godzilla ones.
You know what? We'd have to look that up. Pull out your 3D dimensional blackboard, look it up, see. You know,
I wonder now, especially with the Legendary Pictures Godzillas, if that would be even true anymore.
Right? Yeah, especially in today's money.
Yeah, because now if we're talking like theatrical release for the classic ones, more than likely, yeah.
Oh yeah,
none of the Godzilla ones ever really did very well theatrically until the new
after the fact. Yeah,
even the '98 one that was Godzilla in name only,
which that was the Matthew Broderick one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will continue to boyishly comb my hair over to the side well into my 40s. I remember seeing that one in movie theaters, man. That was, and I remember being a kid going this is bad.
I was psyched for it. I was really, like all the Taco Bell stuff that was coming out.
You know this is bad when you get in. It says, who made more money, God? And it comes up, Godzilla or King Kong?
Yeah, everyone's it's the one everyone's dying to know.
I remember Taco Bell was doing the whole Yo Quiero Taco Bell thing with the Taco Bell dog, and then they had that commercial with like him sitting on Godzilla's foot and everything for this stuff. They were doing all those Godzilla top cups. And
I
stuff.
remember those.
So hyped for it, and I went and saw the movie, and then I just didn't care.
Such
anymore.
a letdown.
Well, as of 5 days ago, Godzilla versus King Kong has made over $300 million.
Yeah, it did really well so far.
The movie had to cost a few bucks to make. Man.
Well, here on our next fact, we'll get it out of the way, and we'll move right into the movie part of it.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Kong 2021 had a budget of $200 million. The 36th film in the Godzilla universe, and it's the 12th film in the Kong universe.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. I mean, the amount of films comparison-wise, Godzilla's done a far more work. But
and it's so crazy and convoluted, the timelines and everything else.
Oh, absolutely. At that point,
there's 3 different eras of Godzilla movies, and they're all technically sequels to the very first one, but they're not, but they are, but they're not.
Exactly,
I'm going to run a list for you guys real quick here. You guys will get a kick out of this.
Yeah. Shoot.
Okay, these are the top 10 grossing, highest grossing monster movies from Godzilla to King Kong. Number 10, King Kong Skull Island, $165 million. Number 9, Jurassic Park 3, $181 million. Number 8, Godzilla, 2014, $200 million.
Nice.
Number 7, King Kong,
The
2005.
Okay, yeah.
218 million.
Okay.
And then it goes Signs. I don't know what that is. And then The Lost World, Jurassic Park, Jaws from 1975, 260 million. And then all the rest of the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I would have to say,
King Kong's made some money.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Household name for sure. You know, I like how we're like referring to them as like real, you know.
Hey, they're real in your heart, right?
Yeah, you know, but that's the thing. That's like the Hollywood Walk of Fame thing. Like, hey, you know, in the movie industry, it is considered an iconic character and all that.
And they might not be real, Kong. But like the other day, we found out that King Kong was the first it was the first actor in a movie that was a main actor that wasn't a real person.
You know what's interesting about that too is his female co-star. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but
the original?
Yeah, in the original
Faye Way.
Yeah.
Or Faye Dunaway.
Is it?
It's one of them, yeah.
I can't remember.
She had been told by the producer, like, you're going to be co-starring next to the tallest, darkest, handsome man in show business and all that. And then she didn't realize that they were talking about until she actually got into the movie and was like, oh, wow. This is what we're doing. Okay. But yeah, no, it's I have to say my love for Godzilla got reignited in the 2014 one. Yeah, I thought that was really cool when that one came out. And
because I mean, Toho was doing their own stuff after the '98 Godzilla.
Yeah,
like they immediately took their license back and started making Godzillas again, and they made that one in '99, which was called Godzilla 2000, even though it came out in '99. And they had a series that was after that really good actually. Like as far as practical effects go, for like the monster genre, they're still dudes in suits and stuff like that and everything. But the special effects are really good, really good. And they did what was it? It was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, or no, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. There's so many different titles. You can't really keep them all straight. And then they did a direct sequel to that one, which was Tokyo SOS, which was Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and Mothra.
Oh, man.
And those two movies probably have some of the best practical destruction effects and miniature effects and stuff like that.
See, I miss that too.
Any of the movies, period.
Miniatures always look cool to me, you know, even in the old ones and stuff when they're stomping through them.
I mean, for the effect of an old movie.
Oh, I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You can tell it's a...
like even movies like Ghostbusters had miniatures involved in it and stuff like that. You know,
Team America was a good miniature movie.
Yeah. I loved how they started off that movie in the beginning, where it looked like this shitty little puppet in a background.
They did it on purpose,
all hand drawn. Yeah, and then they scale back, and it's this big.
They did it
huge, detailed
because
world.
One of the investors in the movie hadn't seen anything they had done. And he invested like $30 million in the movie, and when they opened up, and he went, "Oh shit, they screwed me."
Yeah.
Fay Ray was the actress in the original one, just so you know. So the original King Kong, back in 1933, they spent $675,000 to make the movie.
Wow!
It brought in $5.3 million.
Wow! In Depression era, so that's.
Well, you got to remember when Howard Hughes made Hell's Angels, he put in over $1 million. He went and reshot the whole movie to make it a talkie. It was originally shot a silent movie.
Yeah.
So it ended up costing him like $1.1 million to make, and it was unheard of at the time.
That kind of money.
There was.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Godzilla versus Kong. I mean, we'll start off and go around. We'll start with Josh. What'd you think of it, man?
I loved it. It was exactly what I wanted. I wanted to go see a movie that was a big old lizard fighting a big old monkey, and that was what I got.
Exactly.
I mean, like the only critique I can give it was I didn't get enough Godzilla.
I 100% agree with that statement.
The only thing bad I can really say about it. Like it was a monster movie. That was what I wanted. It delivered.
I will say during the fight scenes and stuff, or the intense scenes, any of the build-ups and stuff, I did find myself going like, oh man, you know, like it was there. So
you hear that Godzilla theme song.
When they first show him in Florida, when he first arrives in the water,
the
and
blue eyes coming up out, like that he really looks scary at that point. Like it really gives off that almost a villainous quality to him.
The newer design of Godzilla too is I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, I think it's a good combination of paying homage to the Toho and then also making it look realistic.
Exactly.
Somewhat,
somewhat modern.
Yeah, it's somewhat of like, okay, if there was a giant lizard, what would it look like anatomically? Like, how would this work?
A giant sea lizard,
Them trying to like, okay, this wouldn't really exist, but if it did, how would we be able to? It's a good combination of like making it like you can distinctly tell it's Godzilla, But at the same time, it's like, okay, I could believe something like this might exist.
It would probably look like the Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie, the giant Gila monster.
You know what's funny, too, is Mystery Science Theater back in its prime on Comedy Central or whatever it was, they did 2 Godzilla movies. I can't remember which ones they were, but they actually did riff 2 of the actual Godzilla movies, so titles. So that's pretty cool. I love that show. So
what a great show! Sometimes you get vested in the movie.
Yeah,
and you're like, man, I want to see. This is actually an interesting movie here.
But
rewind and be like, wait, what did they say over the plot in the background? Like, what?
I think the Godzilla evolution thing is definitely an important thing to bring up because of the difference and just obvious technology and advancements and all that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
His nuclear buildup sound and all that, and just King of the Monsters was probably the one where it was like, this is it for all the design and stuff. Everything looked great, So to me, the last 3 movies have been probably the best of the whole saga.
Yeah, it all depends, like, especially with the Godzilla side of stuff, it all depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you're looking for, like, just fun practical effects, you can go back to the Showa era of the original, like, 8 movies.
Exactly.
And just, they're fun, just tongue-in-cheek movies. You can watch those. If you're looking for something that's more, like, special effects heavy, you can go to the new ones. If you're looking for something that's kind of a mix of the two, there's the 99 to, like, 2008 or 12 or something like that, where they redid them in Japan, and they did like the ones I was just talking about, like the Tokyo SOS and everything, where those are a good combination of special effects and practical effects, and they're in more modern era. It's really a good homage to that. And then there's the ones in the 80s that are just fun.
Campy, exactly. So I think
definitely reinvents itself every decade or so.
And it's just one of those things, like, it's Godzilla, you can't go wrong with it. Like,
exactly.
It's kind of like the Disney theory that every 5 years, every 15 years, they get a new audience.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it too. It's just like how we all seen the movies. Probably as kids.
I hadn't seen a Godzilla movie until you started showing them to me since I was 7, 8 years old. Like I said, I used to watch the old ones with my dad, and the little baby Godzilla, blue smoke rings, and all that stuff. Yeah.
I remember seeing them in the movie store, like in the horror movie section. They would always be right near that somewhere, and they would always be roped into that category. But they would always stand out because of the VHS sleeve covers and all that. They would always, Ghidorah on the front of it with Godzilla blowing fire or something. It was like, this has to be against Godzilla.
They should have did a giant robot versus Godzilla.
That would have been cool. Johnny Sacco
and his giant robot.
Yeah, against Godzilla.
Well, there are a couple of them where there's actual humanoid type robots and stuff.
Which also, we probably should have said this before the show started, but there's going to be, this is total spoiler alert. The movie's been out for a few weeks now. If you haven't seen it, get your stuff together, man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this will drive some interest to people to see it. They'll be like, "Well, this sounds like it's kind of cool."
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to mention, Kong had some good parts in the movie. I don't want to discredit.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not as big of a Kong fan as I am a Godzilla fan, but it was good. it was still like, I didn't go like, "Oh my god, can we stop watching this monkey?" There was no part in the movie where that happened. There's no part like,
the reason they put King Kong in that movie, Josh, is because he fares well with the women.
The
women tend to like King Kong. He's kind of a subtle character. He's kind of sexy, man.
Well, it's, like from the director, one of the things he was saying was nice about having Kong is that on the Godzilla end, they have to be like walk on a tiny tightrope with Toho with how Godzilla portrays emotion, because Toho's very adamant about Godzilla is a force of nature. He is basically a god.
He doesn't
have emotion.
That's the take I got.
And here's the thing too, dude. Is like in Godzilla versus King Kong, after the scene when Godzilla strikes King Kong in the shoulder with the blast, and Kong goes down, there's a brief like 20 seconds there where you have to really listen for it, but Godzilla does this deep laugh. Like it's very short.
It's
like I think that leads to that example of where they probably were like, you can do that, but it's got to be very subtle.
Even little things like when. I don't want to do too spoiler, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
During that fight where it's the final blow to where it's okay.
Yeah.
Godzilla's on top, and here I'm going to go back to what I'm doing again. Not really a smile, but the way it kind of curls up just a little. It's almost a smile, like that's what I thought. He's walking off again. But they really they had to walk a fine line with him to not let him show emotion, and so they said that was one of the reasons that they leaned so heavily on the Kong side of things. is to really give you more insight into the Titans and more emotion with them and things like that.
Absolutely.
And I was going to get to that too. That's one point I wanted to hit on. Is Kong definitely had more of the emotional side of things. They portrayed it in that light more specifically.
He was signing with the little girl and all that stuff, and so he's obviously. And Kong has always been kind of what they've called like a capture.
Yeah.
Kong didn't.
He was off doing his thing.
He was off doing his thing. They came in like any animal you see in a circus. It wasn't like they found a bear riding a bike in the jungle or something. They said, we want you to perform for us. And that was the whole backstory of King Kong in the original movie. Is that the reason he freaked out, he didn't want to be there. And he fell in love.
Yeah, they literally kidnapped him and took him out of his home and was like, yeah, of course you're going to go nuts.
Absolutely.
But one cool part I did want to say when they first introduced Kong in the movie, how he's like chilling, laying back on some mountainside and all that.
Yeah.
When he does get mad and he throws that tree log, that stump, it's pretty crazy because I didn't expect that for what had happened. I didn't expect it to be him in a controlled environment.
Yeah. I didn't expect it at all. I thought for sure it was going to be the scene that you saw in the trailer where he's swinging one of those lizards into another one. I expected that was why he was getting ready with the big spike. I was like, okay, he's about to fight something.
He sees some stuff.
He throws it. It's like the Truman Show or whatever. He's in a movie or whatever. He's in a cage.
He breaks the glass.
Makes it look like and they're all mad because it's like, okay, this guy just damaged the habitat again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see that there's like 12 things around him.
Where he's I like in the movie where the lady goes. He goes, Kong don't bow to nobody.
Oh yeah, no, and
when all you're saying about how Kong got beat up by Godzilla, there is some truth to that, a lot of it. But you got to remember who saved Godzilla in that movie.
Well, we'll get to all that. But like I will say, in the fight scenes, there was some moments where Kong was
whooping
down. Definitely had it.
When he counterclocked him in the
on the boat.
He knocked his ass down. Yeah.
One thing I will get to too before we get because you mentioned kind of towards the end there. They introduced another character into this movie. I mean, it was a character that was already in the Godzilla universe, but into the actual movie itself, Mechagodzilla had made the appearance.
He was vicious.
One thing I wanted to say is I liked how they did that with rewatching the fight clips with Mechagodzilla. That thing was badass.
Yeah, man.
There was no joke.
The thrusters on its back, like the crazy hand spinning plasma punches.
And you notice that Godzilla wasn't even keeping up.
At all. He was literally wiping the floor with him, like throwing him through buildings.
And so that's why I saw the camaraderie at the end of that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go back to Skull Island over here, and you guys, you head back out to sea, and we'll, because it wasn't Godzilla or King Kong that was attracting Godzilla. It was that big
it was King Ghidorah.
Yeah, King Ghidorah.
The brain,
Godzilla's actual true enemy, King Ghidorah. That's the way he was showing, like, hey, you guys are. I can sense him.
I wrote
someone's around here.
I wrote a little bit of a plot hole.
Okay,
here
plot
about
hole in a
that.
Godzilla movie?
Well,
what the hell you say?
No way.
This is just I'm not trying to critique or bad mouth the movie.
No, they're Godzilla movies. If there weren't plot holes, it wouldn't be a Godzilla
this is something
movie.
this brought up something that I kind of thought about. Now, the three movies that I've watched with Andrew, with the Titans, with the King Kongs and the Godzillas.
It's from 2014.
Everybody on the planet knows these monsters exist.
Yeah.
They know they're here. They know.
Yeah.
We all have massive amounts of radiation poisoning.
Failure for any kind of protocol for one of these things shows up. They had no protocol. Like they couldn't get Tokyo evacuated. You would think once you lived on a planet with these, they go, hey, there's a 900-foot Godzilla that could show up out of the sea at any moment. You need to know what to do if this happens, They don't have any. They just go freaking berserk and run, dude. I
think that was kind of in the second movie, they kind of established that, like, he's got all kinds of tunnels and everything through the Earth, which they bring back with the Hollow Earth thing. So, like, literally, they don't know until the last second where Godzilla's showing up, and he wasn't showing up
from Tokyo coming to America
because of that. He was in the ocean at that point.
But then also the point too, at the end of the second movie, they make a big thing to show it that, like, all the Titans, because Godzilla won. Like, if you watch the end credits, like the Mammoth one, he's restoring the rainforest. Rodan goes back and, like, quiets a bunch of volcanoes and goes back into hibernation. Scylla goes through and does a bunch of stuff too. Like, they go through, and all the Titans, like, none of them are attacking anything anymore now that King Ghidorah's gone. They're going back into hibernation and they're doing good things.
They're trying to fix the shit they fucked up on the way out.
That's what Scylla was.
Kind of like community service.
There's a big other thing is like Titan feces, like key to unlimited power and stuff. Like they're just doing all kinds of stuff on the end of those credits, like talking about, like, oh yeah, these things are wonderful. And, like, at the beginning of this one, they're like, why is he attacking? Why would he be attacking? What is going on here? There's no reason for any of this. Like the Titans hadn't been attacking, so there's no reason to have a protocol.
It's just like I said, but everything man does has a protocol to it.
Yeah,
you know,
in
it's supposed
sense.
to. It's supposed to.
Yeah.
So you would think there would be governments of these countries.
Well, I mean, we just lived through the year where we were supposed to have had protocols in place for things like this, and we are all locked down.
Well, our protocol was locking down. That was what we did.
And we scrambled.
When we were little kids, we had assembly drills for nuclear war.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
They said, claw into your desk. Put your hands on the back of your neck. But they did have a plan. Was it a good plan? By far, no means was it.
Yeah.
But it was a plan.
It was to make you feel better about the situation.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you
try to give you some hope.
A nuclear blast?
What it was is they said, look, we got your back. There's no way you're going to survive this.
No. We're going to try
I just thought,
that placebo effect.
Yeah.
It kind of struck me funny is that there was like, they didn't come out and say, okay,
like there's not shelters everywhere in case of Titan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Something like
or
that.
The
but at the
school
same
kids
time, like,
do Titan drills or something, you know?
What shelter's really going to stand up to these things?
I get it. I get it. I'm nitpicking.
And they can go anywhere. And they can go anywhere. That's the thing.
No, I get it.
Literally, all Ghidorah would have to do is come out of its volcano and release the sound, and they're all awoken again, too.
Yeah.
You know? So realistically, that's what it comes down to. And King of the Monsters, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know, it released that sound. And
is it okay if I do another plot?
Yeah, go.
This kind of I noticed this when I saw the movie, and then I looked it up. I was like, that is a point. Remember the character Bernie?
Yeah,
the black guy.
Yeah.
Well, not only did he have a conspiracy theory podcast about the Titans, he was an employee of Apex.
There. Yeah.
Wouldn't somebody eventually go like, hey, this is the dude that's telling us he's going to go further into our stuff that we don't want anybody to know about? Yeah, why would we keep him on?
Yeah, and he's not even disguising his voice or anything like that.
So it would be like, that's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that and the fact that Apex or Monarch had the worst security of a major
absolutely.
corporation.
Yeah.
How do you wander on anybody that's been in any kind of a factory or
tech
something?
industry or anything?
How does this teenage kid and her conspiracy theory friend
wander on
on a pod that goes all the way from
which was
San
cool.
Francisco to Tokyo,
which was super cool. Which
which
that's
was
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That was just kind of
to our hidden cloning facility with a crazy maglev train that's going to take you all the way to Tokyo in 5 minutes.
And nobody's watching that. It's kind of like, okay,
nobody's paying attention to the clone Titan eggs that are being transported.
Exactly. Yeah, we all know the eggs are out there, but there's no cameras on here to see.
One of these things gets out of containment, everything's over.
It's another thing that kind of rung true in the movie, and like I said, I'm not trying to nitpick the movie. Is remember the character Nathan? He was the one that they got. They said, "Hey, we got to take you in our specially gravitational resistant inversion vehicles.
Crazy ass
to go to the."
That somebody pilots it.
Well, not only that, but they go, "Well, we got to have Kong lead us there." Why they didn't need Kong to do that? That guy had already been through it when his brother got killed. He got crushed by the gravity. I mean, I understand that they wanted to take Kong to it, but they didn't. They weren't guaranteed that Kong was going to lead them to what
even
they were
go
looking
into
for.
it.
Yeah.
I think this is just the way it sounded to me. It was like they needed him to lead. They needed him to lead them to the right entryway
where he needed to be,
to be able to get where they were they wanted to be.
Okay, well that makes
sense. We can just go in there, but we're going blind. We could end up out on the other side in Tokyo. We need him to lead us through the right thing to get to the center
where he pushed into the rock and all that and got to the throne.
Yeah,
well, they were trying to get Kong to the Middle Earth,
to the throne, to the
Middle Earth, and then have him lead them to the power source.
Exactly. Yeah,
which they did. It worked.
Well, that's what he did. Yeah. That's where the whole axe and all that shit came into play. You know, which at the end of the day was really the true piece that saved the fucking day.
Yeah,
I mean, in Hong Kong it was because Godzilla was down and fucking blasted the power to it.
Yeah,
and Kong was able to just by force,
which I think,
kill Mechagodzilla. You know.
I think in this movie it also showed a lot more of the intelligence of Godzilla. Like
exactly.
Kong can sign and everything, use sign language, but they don't give Godzilla enough credit for being as smart as he is.
Yeah.
Like he's not there fucking up Pensacola, Florida, and everybody in it. He literally destroys that one thing and bounces. He shows up in Tokyo. He's not there just destroying everything. He's just
everything else is just collateral.
Yeah. It's just he's there when he gets in the fight with when he and Kong are teaming up with Mechagodzilla. It shows the both of them like working together and everything. And he sees that axe and immediately goes, "Oh, okay,
blast,
boom, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Exactly. Hit this thing and you know."
And one thing too to say to that is in the first meetup between Kong and Godzilla. That's the same kind of thing. He literally shows up and it Rex Kong tries to drown him, and he gets back on the boat and splits. He's like, "Hey, I already proved my point." Yeah,
He literally he grabs Kong and just drags him straight down.
Which they fire depth charges at him to try to let go, which they could have injured Kong in the same. That's another hole in the plot.
Totally.
Which in reality should have messed Kong up really bad.
Yeah.
Like, that should have immediately knocked the wind out, which they kind of do, like him puking up a lot of water, but, like, he was already drowning.
Yeah.
It should have made it even worse. He shouldn't have been able to surf. Like, if that fucked up Godzilla.
Come floating up.
Yeah.
You got to be able to you got to be able to tie the movie together. Yeah.
But it was still, it was a good scene.
And then
regardless.
one of the things that with the name of the movie being Godzilla versus Kong, I don't think it was really Godzilla against King Kong. It didn't come out the way it was sold.
No, totally. I
it was more like it was Godzilla and Kong. You don't need to verse anybody.
To be fair, the first of the versus ones was Mothra versus Godzilla, and that's not really Mothra versus Godzilla. That's more Mothra and Godzilla versus, and I can't remember the character's name, but the guy that has Mothra's egg and is like holding it for ransom and everything like that.
I guess they try to
they fight a little bit, but it's not really.
Yeah, there'd been no fight had they not invented that fake Godzilla.
The original King Kong versus Godzilla. The original script didn't even include Godzilla at first. It was actually King Kong versus I can't remember the name, but it was going to be a giant lobster character.
Oh, okay.
At the time, it really was. And then Toho got a hold of it and was like, "Hey, we're going to put Godzilla in this."
We got an idea,
yeah.
So that's how that came to be originally.
That was one of the fun Easter eggs I thought in this movie was when they're doing their fight, their first one in Tokyo, when the two of them were fighting, and just like in the Kong versus Godzilla movie where he shoves the tree in his mouth.
Yeah.
He does the same thing, but with the butt of the axe.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite Easter eggs in the entire movie that they did that.
One thing I did like in Kong's favor is at the end when he destroys Mechagodzilla, helps Godzilla out and all that. He stands there with the head and all that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Like just total primate instinct.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but in King Kong has a lot more human characteristics.
Elements to him.
He has that, and I think that played well.
They played up to that.
Like you said, the Godzilla is a reptile. It's an animal.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
It's a beast. It's not got any human
literally
instincts.
the Earth's force of nature personified.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of weird when they match the two together like that because it works out well for him.
And
in Jurassic Park, you had the same thing. You kept waiting for one of these dinosaurs to be compassionate or something, which they're not. They're animals.
Yeah.
And they could have very easily taken that movie in that role, in that way, and it would have ruined it.
Totally.
Yeah, that's one of the things I hate is when people they put human characteristics into animals, whereas King Kong is a little bit different because gorillas we know just from life in general. They're much closer to a human than So we have girls that were teaching just sign language and that love their kittens, and you know what I mean. We've established that they have a sentience that above and beyond that of a Komodo dragon. So which is more or less what Godzilla would be, and it makes sense in that aspect. Whereas Godzilla should just be like, "Hey, I'm here to fuck shit up."
I'm here. I'm here
I don't
to do
need to fuck shit up anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, I did what I had to do. But I think, regardless, Godzilla hands down has won this one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And another thing to be said would be that Mechagodzilla more than likely would have won if Kong would have perished.
Yes, if things had not, if there hadn't been human intervention, Godzilla would have killed Kong because Kong was dying. And then Godzilla would have been killed.
His heartbeat was literally fading out at that point.
You have a point about that. And I don't think there was a clear winner in either one of them.
And Mecha was literally pushing Godzilla through, like that first punch that Mecha lands when he uses the thrusters. Literally you can see the blue radiation tint on Godzilla's skin and all that when he gets hit that hard and he falls back and all that. It's like that first move you're like, oh no.
And I thought it was a great, just because that guy, the whole thing with Apex, him trying to make the ultimate Apex Predator, that thing was made to kill Godzilla.
Exactly.
And it showed, okay, this thing is made to kill Godzilla.
And it showed almost stronger, it
was distinctly designed to try to kill him.
Exactly.
No, I think I said I didn't see it with I think the name of the movie is misleading. Because I don't, and you have to name it something. I get it, but I didn't see where the rivalry between the two was really that big.
No,
until the end when they came together.
Yeah, to me, the biggest plot hole in the entire movie is King of the Monsters. Why wasn't Kong trying to get out of the enclosure? Why did Godzilla not care that Kong existed at all
at that point?
If he's another apex predator,
why wasn't it triggering him?
What?
Which Josh, I don't think he did care.
I don't think so, because I don't think it's one of those things like where if you look at the lore that they put in this one, where they're both at the center of the earth and there's that Godzilla thing around the throne and stuff. I have a feeling that they're probably going to lead more towards like, oh, they weren't actual enemies; they might have been protectors, because we now have Godzilla having an underground kingdom dedicated to him. Yeah. And then there's an underground kingdom dedicated to Kong.
Kong is on Skull Island, right?
Well, that Kong was, but then in the Hollow Earth, there's that giant throne. That's right.
All that stuff.
And then there's that Godzilla, he puts the axe in there, and then suddenly it lights up as Godzilla.
But they also had in that movie about 2 seconds of dialogue where they said, their ancestors had fought before.
Well, yeah.
Well, but that's what we interpreted it as.
They said it.
Did they?
That's what they said in the movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the scientists are saying. Like, oh, they fought before
that we know of. Yeah.
That we know of.
So, what I think at the end of the day, it's the idea of that one is like, hey, you're not really. Godzilla is basically like, you're not really a threat to me. We can get down, but you're not really that much of a threat to me. And you being on this land doesn't really mess with what I'm doing.
Godzilla's going to allow King Kong to exist.
That's what it is. Technically, to me.
Okay, all right.
At the end of the day, he almost killed him, dude.
Well, no, it's more
he got the better of him in that fight.
I feel like it's less of a allowing him to exist is like more of a they all have their
it's
purpose.
A respect. It's a respect.
Yeah, you go back to the end of the King of the Monsters again, like I was saying, like they show at the end of there, like all the different monsters had a purpose that they were fulfilling. They were restoring nature. They were restoring the balance. So, like even Kong, it kind of almost like, okay, so his proper place is at the Hollow Earth. The Kongs that might be the reason that they're there is to keep the shit in Hollow Earth in check.
Exactly.
Godzilla's up on the top, keeping that's his territory. He's keeping the rest of the stuff in check. And it even kind of lends credence to the scene where, as ridiculous as it was, when Godzilla blasts a hole to the center of the Earth with his atomic breath, which. How did Godzilla take a shot to the shoulder of that, or Kong take a shot to the shoulder of that
without being incinerated?
He just blasted a hole to the center.
It's true.
But regardless, like he blasts a hole to center Earth and like kind of screams at him, kind of like, "Hey, bitch, get up here! I need your help." More of a less of a challenge, more of a like, "Get the fuck up here."
Yeah. I found the thing that's been bugging me. Come here.
Come help me. Yeah. Which you can also take a notice that King Kong in the prior movies was never as big as Godzilla. He was never as tall.
They had to up his size.
Yeah, they had because if you remember in the original movie, he climbs the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
And it's not. And when he falls, he dies. King Kong dies in that movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And because he gets shot off the building.
He dies in the one in the 70s too, right?
I believe.
It's the same kind of story.
The same story. They follow the same storyline.
Yeah.
Only in the later movies did they start letting him live.
Didn't it have a Bond girl in it? Tanya Roberts or somebody like that?
Which one it was? You're right.
I don't think until the Peter Jackson one they let him live. That wasn't
that makes sense.
That had to be in the 80s, right?
No, the Peter Jackson
2005.
was 2005.
Okay. Like I said,
didn't have Jack Black in it too, right?
They were planning to do a bunch of they were going to do a bunch of sequels. Actually, ironically, the guy that directed this movie was supposed to do the sequel to that movie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Peter Jackson had picked him to do the sequel, but then they decided they weren't going to continue with it and everything.
Yeah,
man. So I mean that's. Do you guys have any final thoughts on it?
I hope there's another movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I think we're basically guaranteed that there's going to be more.
They've set it up to bring more.
Like you said, for your expectations going into that thing, you weren't let down.
No,
I mean, I'm not a big monster movie fan myself, but but that was worth seeing, and especially if you can see it on a big screen. In a place like the Roadhouse, that's
totally. That's the only way to see a movie like that to me is on a big screen.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them that I wish I could have. Like I've never seen a Jurassic Park movie on a.
I could only imagine. Yeah. I mean, Harkins does those classic movie replays.
Yeah, we've got a couple theaters here in town that do. There's one, the Drive-In, that does tons of classic movies. That one's a lot of fun to go to because you can go, at the drive-in. Who can't beat the drive-in? But we got a few theaters.
Drive-in in August. It sounds like a good time.
Hey, you could have the windows up.
You never know. But then we've also got a couple of theaters over in downtown area, Phoenix area, that do some like classic movies all the time and stuff like that.
Roadhouse does, if I'm not mistaken.
Do they?
I think I've been to one there.
I know they were doing some during COVID, but I don't know if they do them. Actually, I think they have like a throwback Thursdays or something like that.
During the week, because I went one time.
Or Tuesdays or Thursdays or something. I think they do it. There's a few theaters that do that in town here.
I want to say I saw the Karate Kid there.
Yeah. So. No, it's well, Godzilla vs. Kong I thought was a good movie for a monster movie. It was everything.
So if you had to compare, so Godzilla would be the Daniel LaRusso.
He's the winner.
And King Kong would be the John Kreese, right?
Yes. Godzilla is the clear winner in this one at the end of the day. I would have to say, I mean, honestly, if anyone that's actually seen the movie, unless you're a Kong fan.
Well, and there were parallels to the end of the King of the Monsters as well. I mean, if you watch that one, Ghidorah killed Godzilla. If it hadn't been for Mothra sacrificing herself to put that little bit of extra radiation on top of Godzilla, he would have won. So just same kind of thing.
So it seems like it's a pattern that Godzilla needs to be bailed out most of the time. Right?
Sometimes, hey,
he can't really pull it off himself, can he?
There's a reason they didn't use Mecha Ghidorah here, because there's no way in hell that monkey could have done shit to the dragon.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing too.
If you weren't dying already, you'd have been dead now.
Yeah. So what we need now,
even though technically it kind of was Mecha Ghidorah, that was one of the plot holes that I actually.
It was the brain.
What we need now, then, what you're saying for King Kong to be competitive against these electronic ones, is we're going to need an electronic King Kong, a Mecha Kong. It's what we're going to need, right?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I have a feeling they're probably going to go just with the way they kind of did the plots is either the Godzilla or the Kong one probably the Kong one's going to have to do with like cloning and stuff of the Titans.
Yeah,
and then I think the Godzilla one is going to be more of monsters coming from space.
Yeah,
because they tongue in cheek that stuff about space in this one, and then there's the fact that they're cloning skull crawlers. I have a feeling that's what they're going to do, which will be fun because they can bring in some of the crazy monsters from Godzilla that they haven't put in there yet that are a lot of fun.
I think referencing King of the Monsters, the end of it is perfect example. Godzilla's standing there and literally all the monsters are coming up from that movie and bowing to him, and just he's even looking. He looks at each one of them individually, and they all bow. Of a sort. So to me, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
The fact, and at the end of Godzilla versus King Kong, it's just kind of like.
It was a nice Easter egg because it was the reverse of what happened in the original one, where King Kong swims into the ocean. Now you had the final.
They just kind of nod and bounce, all right, take it easy, we'll see each other on the next one or whatever. That's the kind of vibe it had to it.
That's the vibe I got from it, exactly. Like it was kind of like, hey, I'm sorry about all the riffraff here. Thanks for helping me out,
Yeah, because I thought at first they were going to reference the Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, the one that they've done recently, by making the Mechagodzilla out of the bones of the Godzilla that you've seen in the 2014 one, where the Muto eggs are hanging off it and everything.
Which is,
I thought for sure that's how they were going to do it. They were going to use parts.
Which is really weird because knowing King Ghidorah, the heads usually when the creature's alive.
Fight each other.
Yeah, and the heads usually grow back. The one got ripped off in King of the Monsters, and it grew back.
Yeah, and in King of the Monsters, at the end when he goes into meltdown mode, they kind of show that he literally disintegrates the skin, the neck, everything disintegrates, and the skulls fall.
Yeah,
so that was kind of
that's how they got in the skulls.
And he grabs the last that last head and he's eating it, and then incinerates it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So they had the two skulls that fell, and then the one that was left.
Those are the ones that they actually got.
So they got one inside Mechagodzilla, and the other one the other guy's hooked up to, and that's a great idea.
Yeah. No, that's exactly when they started showing that, it was this is going to go south.
And something I didn't notice until last night when I was watching it again, the guy who is in the chair for Mechagodzilla, he's the son of Ken Watanabe's character from the previous two.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Which is kind of weird because you would think that, he loved Godzilla. Why are you trying to kill Godzilla? He literally sacrificed himself trying to, save Godzilla by igniting a nuclear bomb.
You think he would be on that side.
Yeah, so you would think that he wouldn't be trying to kill him.
Yeah, after your dad sacrificed himself. Yeah, like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah. Which was another cool scene for a Godzilla movie because he actually gets to go down there in the little, subterranean vehicle and all that.
Yeah, that was really neat, showing that entire kingdom underground under the water.
You got to go right up to Godzilla's face, basically, and see him.
Yeah, I mean, he literally put his hand on him and he died.
Yeah. Yeah, but all right, guys.
No, great movie though. Loved it. I suggest if you have a chance, go watch it in the theater because it's not the same watching it at home.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Having watched it both ways now, man, you got to go see this in the theater if you're able to.
Yeah, it's a good
just
time. Get out and get a movie in,
It's one of those productions, the whole atmosphere, the sounds, everything. You got to be there.
Yeah, most theaters, if you're worried about social distancing, things like that, almost all of them are going above and beyond what they need to do. And so you don't need to worry about that. Just go check it out in the theaters if you get a chance to. It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. It's been a good time, guys. Thanks for coming on, Josh.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, take it easy, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Let them fight. Oh,